Hi there. This week on Women Who Rise, I'm joined by Mike Schumm, business builder, Fractional CEO, and the powerhouse behind Profits Coaching. With over 35 years of experience and more than 30,000 coaching calls, Mike has helped countless entrepreneurs turn their jobs into thriving, profitable businesses. We talk about the systems, mindset shifts, and clarity it takes to scale with freedom, not burnout. If you've ever wanted to grow your business and live your life at the same time, you won't want to miss this conversation. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Women Who Rise. I'm your host, Heather Mansy. Today, I'm joined by Mike Schumm, the co-founder of Profits Coaching and a Fractional CEO who has helped countless real estate teams and business owners turn their jobs into thriving, profitable businesses. With more than 35 years of entrepreneurial experience, Mike has built and led over 10 companies across multiple industries, including founding and scaling a successful real estate team. Having conducted over 30,000 coaching calls, he's developed a proven network for creating clarity, implementing accountability, and building systems that free leaders to focus on what truly matters, both in business and in life. Known for his strategic thinking and direct, results-driven approach, Mike's mission is to help leaders achieve not just financial success, but the freedom and impact they've always envisioned. Welcome to the show, Mike. I am so excited for this episode.
Heather, thank you so much. I was listening to it, I was like, wow, that sounds pretty good.
You're a pretty impressive guy there, so you might have knocked your own socks off just now. So as we know, the show is called Women Who Rise. And so, recognizing that you're not a female there, I just want to say, I've told my listeners, and I've always said, if I have people that I think are going to really contribute to the rise and success of women or have shown a proven track record in doing so, I'm going to bring you guys on too, because you have the ability and have shown that you can help women, in addition to, other business leaders, succeed and thrive at a high level. Some of my own guests have really been able to benefit and rise as a direct result of your coaching. So this is, really exciting for me. I've had a couple sit downs with you, and I can say that, you are a really sought after coach. So one of my first questions that I have for you is, what brought you from kind of being in business to evolve into being as a coach? And I know you have some other ventures going on. Mm-hmm. And then how does that evolution benefit your coaching clients?
Yeah, so for me, everything I do has to create impact, right? I don't do things just to do them. I don't do things just to make piles of money on there. So like many things in my life, like all these businesses you'd mentioned and all that stuff, purely by accident, is that I was, as you mentioned in the intro, I was building a pretty successful real estate team in Long Island. And then around the same time, Tom Ferry had just left his dad, Mike Ferry, and was starting his own coaching company. And then being on the East Coast, kind of funny, as everyone knows Tom, this big name and face, he wasn't yet on the East Coast, just on the West Coast. So he would come to the South Street Seaport or Connecticut or Jersey to do like a one-day training or seminar. And there would be not a big audience there. And a couple of times I just went in the lobby and he was sitting there. He was like, you want to go to dinner? I need someone to go to dinner with. So then I started chatting with him. He's like, hey, you got to sign up for coaching. And so I signed up for a coach. And then a few years later, after seeing what I was able to do building my team, he's like, do you ever consider being a coach? And I was like, no, but I have one thing. If you'll pay me money, I'll do anything. And if I can help people, even better. So back then, early in his days, there wasn't a lot of training. Like, all right, you're a coach. I think there was like 1 or 2 days of corporate, and you kind of got thrown into it. But then I've kind of realized coaching was really the same thing I'm doing with my real estate team, helping agents, learn the business, create a schedule, and do that. So then I was doing that, and it was fulfilling, and I got even popular, which I don't talk about too much, but I had, one client, two, and my name got out there, and I quickly had like 120 agents I was working with, managing their businesses, helping to turn their job into businesses. And then some of them, this was the advent when teams started. So when the teams had started, there was no real organization that catered to them. So I said, hey, Tom, we should build like a teams division there, right? And so then they eventually built, Tom Ferry teams. They had small group, medium group, and large group. And then we could really focus on helping teams who want to scale a little differently than a solo agent, which what a real estate team really is, where I started to really shine, is really a business. You're taking your real estate and you're hiring people. You need a P&L and those kind of things. So I started teaching very smart real estate agents who wanted to build a bigger team, how to think like a CEO, how to run their business like a business, which what I've already been doing for many, many years. And I basically taught them how to turn that job into a business they could, run or have someone else run for them, or I've actually sold some of them for them. And that's what eventually happened, is combining the entrepreneurial skills I had and teaching real estate agents who wanted to build organizations how to do that through systems, like you said, hiring the right people and keeping an eye, which is not our industry standard, on the bottom line, profitability. Like I tell everyone, I'm not enamored by how many homes you sell or how much GCI. How much are you putting on your family's bank account every month, right? Is what's important to me. So yeah, pure accident, quite honestly. Just kept evolving. And then teams and my skill set just seemed to come at the right time, which in business, I'll tell everyone, the number one factor in whether your idea is going to work is called product market fit. Like what you're offering out to the world, is that a need? And this is why, Heather, your podcast will do so well. Because what I've recognized more and more is there's a lot of females in business and in the real estate industry specifically, because I'll segue here if you want, is that when I coached back then, just coincidentally, most of the people on my schedule were they were mostly men, right? Very driven drivers, and they were just building and conquering. And then you'd mentioned Spring Benson, who's going to be on a podcast. So I started working with her with a couple different things, and she'd asked me to speak at a couple of her events and stuff. Like one was She Inc. with 300 women. And what was different, when I'm coaching, I'm a private guy. I never really talk about myself or my past or my background. And Spring's like, hey, when you go on stage, kind of tell them who you are and a little bit of your background. So I just did, and very transparently, I had to tell them that I had to start my real estate business as a single dad because I was just going through a divorce, and I had to made a commitment that I would put them on the bus at 9 and be home at 3 and still sell 100 houses a year to have a great lifestyle. And when I started telling that story, with females specifically, all the single moms or the ones that maybe they're still in a relationship but they have children, because the difference was my guys I coached, their job was to be the breadwinner. The females in my schedule, which is about 90% now, like I don't have those guys anymore. I have mostly females after hearing my story. Hey, how could I have, a great relationship with my partner, my kids, and still be a successful CEO of a business? They have a really hard time figuring that out, as you might imagine. So we teach them that there's really no balance, but we want to help you create harmony between all three. On there, then with harmony, they could feel like they're spending enough time with the family and not feeling guilt, because that's what happens. Is you feel guilt because you leave your business to spend time with your family, and then you feel guilt because you need it there. And then if you're spending too much time there, then your family, you're guilty you're not spending enough time with your kids or your partners. And so
exactly. You feel like you're never really, you're only paying lip service to everything, or you always feel like you're playing hooky and failing to be present in the way that the world forever expects you to be present. And there seems to be no dividing line. I love that you got into that, because it's true. My next question for you actually was going to be, and thanks for the vote of confidence on the podcast, but my next question was going to be, look, you've coached multiple top tier CEOs, bring as an example. What is the importance of, what is that difference among, and I think you're elucidating one of them now, between females and males as, CEOs, or that you have seen as our particular either strengths or weaknesses. And you just really kind of talked about a weakness or a stopping point for female CEOs. What do you think also conversely are some of the ways that those can be turned into strengths, or in fact strengths that exist among women in what you're calling, by the way, product market fit or beyond?
Yeah, great question. So what I would tell you there is a lot of the weaknesses that may come along with trying to juggle and balance on there always become a strength, because one thing I have learned about my most successful clients over the years, they all have one thing in common, and most of the time you don't even know about it, is they've had to go through some really hard times, either when they were growing up or in business. So they've got some scars on them, and they've developed grit. Right, a single mom with 2 kids who went through a bad divorce, like that's really hard to focus on your business and go through a divorce. But when you get through the divorce, there's nothing that will stop you. I would tell you, single moms with kids are probably almost always my most successful clients, because they're going to raise those kids, they're going to get them to school and do all those things. So, but like right now, I have a female team, and then one of the new agents was great. She was hustling, she was learning, and then all of a sudden, Heather, she's got like totally flipped on me. Oh man, I don't like this, and I'm like this. Like went from loving, I was like, oh, what happened? Next week, she apologized. She's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. I just became pregnant. So her hormones and everything were changing, and she didn't even know why she was acting like she was working. Yeah. But now she's having a very rough first trimester. She's sick and energy, right? So that's a challenge, right? Her real estate business this year is probably going to be in a little bit of a deficit, but giving birth to a child, does anything make you tougher and right? Yeah. in the long run?
That is certainly, and that is certainly something. First of all, you'll develop some grit to go through that, even to make it through, as any of us who've been pregnant can probably tell you. But also that is the exact kind of thing where you say it's maybe not going to be balanced, but we'll try for harmony, because oftentimes we have the business is unbalancing our personal life. That's actually an example where a personal life can really unbalance your business, and there has to be a way to keep that ship floating so it's still there when you can return to it in a more full manner. Incredible.
Let me give you I'll give everyone an easy solution to that challenge, because what I've learned even from raising my own son. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story. Is when I first got divorced, I didn't have parents hardly at all growing up, so I didn't have any parenting skills to draw from. So I was like, oh my gosh, how do you raise a kid? I was literally scared. I didn't know how to do this. So I went an obvious way. I overcompensated. Hey, let's go on a Disney cruise. Next year, let's go to Disney World. Next year, let's take a 2-week vacation to upstate New York, right? And I thought all these great trips and stuff. So when he got a little bit older, I was like, hey, Mikey, you remember all these cool things we've done over the last whatever, how many years? Which one was your favorite? And he paused and he looked at me and he says, hey, Dad, remember when you and I went to that beach next to our house and we were skipping rocks all afternoon? That was the best day of my life. And I was like, no. Like the Disney cruise. He's like, and I started to think about it. So here's where you kind of get punched between the eyes. The reason that was the best day in his life is you have to go down this hill. So you lose all your phone service. So you can't communicate with the outside world. And this beach on the North Shore of Long Island, you probably don't know, are very rocky. Not a nice beach that you want to hang out and, there's no sand. So no one goes to the beach. So it was me and him. No one in the world could find us or contact us. And so what I learned, our children, our partners, what they really, really want at the end of the day is your undivided attention. So I ask a question sometimes to my clients early on, like, hey, what's the most important thing in your life? And they say, oh, my family, my kids, my partner, my husband, whatever. And then I say, all right, let me see your Google Calendar. I said, well, you've scheduled a lot of things with everyone else, but I don't see anything scheduled with those people. So I learned if you schedule and say, hey, Mikey, right? Like last night was a good example. He had a big test today. So I taught him that eating like sushi and stuff before a big test with the omega-3s helps brain function. So he's like, Dad, I got a big test tomorrow. Can we go out for sushi tonight? So we scheduled it. It was on my calendar. I could only work to a certain time yesterday. And we went out for sushi with no phone, just talking about the big test. And he's flying to Baltimore to see his girlfriend tomorrow morning. And undivided attention. Just an hour or two at the sushi restaurant, a little local place, no big deal. But those, the other one just happened actually by accident. As we bought a car recently, we hadn't driven it. So we're like, let's take the car out. Nice little sports car. And then, where do you want to go? We went to his favorite coffee shop. And then I said, where do you want to go next? We drove around Lake Mead. We moved to Vegas, but we'd never been there. So let's see what Lake Mead looks like. And then we drove to his favorite the supermarket, an okay supermarket at best, but it has a James Beard restaurant in the seafood department, believe it or not. So like, that'd be an interesting experience. So we went there. Then he likes Asian, his girlfriend's Asian, so he's way into Asian food, culture, and cooking. So he built the biggest supermarket the Asian shop at called H Mart or something, I think. So, can we go there? It's right around the corner. So we bought all these Asian snacks and candies. And I thought it was a couple hours because we were just having a good time. I looked at my watch. We were gone for 7 hours. So
Wow.
then Lisa, my wife, when he came home, was like, hey, where you been? How was your day? He's like, I had a blast. But again, this car is very loud, so you can't use a phone. You can't even turn the radio on because the engine's so loud in this thing. So it's just me and him in this little cute sports car bouncing around town. And that's a great time. So yeah, it's not how much money you spend or what destination you go to. It's just let them know next Friday at 5 o'clock, we're going to spend a couple hours, and doesn't matter what you do with that as long as you're 100% attentive during that time. Mm-hmm. And that's where I say harmony versus balance. Like you can't give them 40 hours of your time where you have to give to your business, but you can dedicate an hour or two at least every week to each of the important people and say, this is your time.
Yes, and learning how to schedule that, I think, is so instructive. I remember as an agent years ago, I every night would get fill up in the summer if I wasn't careful with, showings and things back when I was in production. And so one day I just said, you know what, I'm scheduling a movie night for my kids. And there was like a $5 movie theater. And so it became Tuesday night was movie night. And when I was on the phone about to, book an appointment, if it was there in my calendar, I couldn't, absent-mindedly book something over it because I would see and I would the words would fall out of my mouth and I would say, oh, yeah, I have an appointment at that time. Yeah. No one knew that was family movie night, but my kids knew that it was so reliable and they were quite small at the time. And this was really great because they knew no matter what, we're all, meeting up at the movie theater and, whether I was in town or not, it didn't matter. We're going to go and do that thing. So just talking a little bit about, again, some of the, businesses that you've coached, when it comes to if one is scaling or at a certain point, because we're not, if we're getting beyond just being, say, a real estate agent, or maybe we have a donut shop or whatever that is, when it comes to scaling, we're in a very new world now with media and all kinds of things. What do you think is the importance of partnerships and collaboration? I know, and I know you can probably speak to this a little bit because you are part of several as we speak.
Yeah. So I would say that's a key to success, right? You can try to figure it out on your own and go on your own, but I am a huge fan of collaboration. Like all my companies, I have amazing, super smart partners in there. And then those companies work with a bunch of other companies where we help each other, or there's opportunity for one of my clients to be a good fit for them. And this is something else that probably separates me a lot. With my reputation and the audience I have, just about every software company in the country has offered me to use their affiliate link. Hey, if any of your people want to use this product we sell or that, let them use this link and you'll make some money, referral money. But I always had this maybe different philosophy. I was like, thank you, but I really can't use that because if I'm recommending your service to one of my clients, is it because you're paying me to recommend it or it's the best thing for them? Yeah, so I've never taken any, but I had this relationship where I'll speak for free at their events to add value. Because this is another thing that's maybe a little different, is I truly believe these two phrases I heard from gurus years ago. And one was Zig Ziglar, who told me if I help other people get what they want, I'll always get what I want. So I don't lead with, oh, if you pay me money, I'll help you. Like, I'd rather just help you because I help you get what you want. The universe will reward me. And if you do this for over 40 years like I have, it's true. And the second one is Jim Rohn, who had stated, your success in life is directly proportional to the amount of value you add to others or the market. And then that's how you get rewarded. So yeah, I never focus on money or fees. It's like, how can I help? How can I contribute? How can I give? And then I'm lucky enough, none of my companies that we work now do any marketing. It's 100% inbound, just based on reputation, through myself, my partners, and then the other businesses we do business with. It's all inbound. I'll give you a good example. Follow Up Boss asked me to do their podcast about a month or two ago. So they got a great big audience, and then I said a couple smart things, I guess. And I think 2 or 3 clients signed up for coaching this week because of that on there. So that's a great relationship. I don't want them to pay me if I get a FUB user for them. That was a benefit in itself that was mutually beneficial. We didn't have to exchange currency.
Well, and I love exactly. It's almost like the barter system is back again, and in a really big way. If anything, the current media landscape has certainly opened that up. And I love what you said for a couple of reasons. One, you talked about the ethical dilemma of having affiliate marketing, and obviously this is a really big thing right now. It's almost like if you're not in it, there people are saying you should do it, but you're basically saying as many affiliate links as I get, I want to make sure that I'm recommending things just on the value and merit of what I'm recommending, being a best fit for that person, and not being the doubt of maybe because I'm able to get a little bit of a spiff or a
Yeah.
boost or something
Yeah.
on the back end. And I also love what you talked about just now with regard to making sure that you're giving as much or more than you're getting, and just having that come back to you. I can say I was in the audience at the She Summit. In fact, that's where I believe we met. And yes, just hearing you speak, you are a no frills guy. I think I can say, you have just a very plain and accessible way of speaking. And honestly, I just right away, I think myself and others in the audience saw that you're simply able to, in a no frills way, help people and get right down to brass tacks. And I think, like I said, I've had the experience of being on a call with you, and it's just immediate value, rather than, let's hang out and decide what to do. So going back to partnerships and collaborations, you literally just said, I mean, number one, top thing that you're seeing CEOs do is that they have developed grit. And number two, that the key to success is having amazing, super smart people. And I think part of my mind goes to, okay, does that mean you're partnering with people that in a way make you nervous? Because we talk a lot about the validity of being in a room that makes you nervous, being in a room where you're not sure you belong. You can have partnerships that maybe are elevating you in the same way, because obviously there is that thought of optics and everything else in our world.
Yeah.
What is your thought
Oh,
on that?
yes. Yeah, great questions on here. So, and this affects two things, actually, I can tell you. So one thing I will tell you that's helped me to become so successful is an old adage you've heard, but I'm going to tell you it's probably even more important than you may think, is that old adage, all growth comes outside your comfort zone.
Okay. Yeah.
All growth. So one of the ways that has affected me recently, so when I was doing coaching and real estate and all these other businesses, there was no speaking or anything. I just, coaching with Zoom calls, real estate, selling houses. So when me and Spring first met and we decided to collaborate on working some things together, I said, Spring, whatever you need, I'm really good at business. I'm really good at coaching and all this stuff. But what I'm really not interested in doing is any public speaking. I never wanted to be on a stage. I don't like a lot of attention. And this is the beauty of Spring, if you know Spring. So
Definitely.
her first big event's coming up in, I think it was San Diego at the time. And we're going to, have a call to talk about what we're going to do. And she had decided that I would be the keynote speaker for 90 minutes. I've never spoken for more than like 5 minutes on a stage. So you want to talk about outside your comfort zone? Man,
Wow.
there's going to be hundreds of people here. And, of course you go like, what if it's really bad? I never did this. So I
Yeah.
overcompensate. I go to guitar studio shop here and I get like a big 2000 amp speaker like they have in these rooms. And I buy a wireless mic, a handheld mic, and I'm in my living room for about a month, right? Just trying to figure out how to become a public speaker, watching videos and what's the format. But yeah, guys, anything you really want, it's going to be uncomfortable. Like anything, if you're not pushing yourself out there and getting that weird butterfly feeling, you're probably not growing nearly as fast as you could be. So yeah, learning to kind of fall and just put yourself out there is that 99% of your thoughts are false, that fear, right? And it appears it's going to be bad, like that talk, and it turned out extremely well, right? Now I've been speaking I think like twice a month now I get asked to speak on stages, and I love it. But I would have never done that if she didn't. So getting people in your circle that push you, right? Mm-hmm. That have confidence that you can do this. Like she had total confidence at her event. I would not screw it up. I thought that was pretty bold, but she threw the ball and I caught it and I had to. So the phrase I'll give you a little different, which this is another thing.
And by the way, not to stop you, but what you just described is, to me, is the magic of mentorship. It's why I do what I do, mentoring other agents. It's because she saw something in you didn't, in fact, see in yourself, no matter what other bona fides you already had.
Right.
She saw that you would be a fantastic speaker. I've seen you on stage twice, and you could hear a pin drop both times I've seen you speak. And there were no fancy, fireworks or anything. It doesn't need to be when you're as knowledgeable as you are. But I love that she believed in you in that moment, and what you said about 99% of your thoughts being, basically fear
Yeah.
and getting out of that comfort zone. I have an agent buying her first house right now. She said, Heather, I feel sick. I feel sick. I feel sick to my stomach. It's in the pit of my stomach. And I said, well, number one, remember why our clients sometimes get emotional. It's a big deal. The stakes seem very high, but also, yeah, you should welcome it, because that you're describing how I feel probably twice a day right now,
We all do.
launching a podcast and all that. Sorry. Please keep going.
Yeah, let me keep going. So the other thing for the audience that I've learned more, and just honestly the last year or two, is when you're building organizations, you're always going to need people, right? Whether they're partners, employees, independent contractors. So we tend to want to check that box a little too quick. So what I do now, if you're going to work at one of my companies or we're going to partner, you have to be what I call best in class. That you're going to bring something to the table that is better than me. To answer your question a little bit, no, I've fallen in love with hiring and partnering with people who are much, like when it comes to marketing, like I told you, I do hardly any marketing. Spring Benson is like a marketing machine all day,
Yes.
right? So the partnership works because she's so well at pushing that out. I'm better on the execution and the operational side. So the partnership becomes amazing on there. So yeah, I will only work with and partner with people that are bringing something to the table. Because, I'll just share. So I was working with Spring, and we noticed almost everyone in the organization, she was smarter than in every department. So it becomes heavy when you have to tell people what to do. She's like, Mike, I want people to come to me and tell me what to do next. But I said, no one has built or worked in an organization nearly the size of you. They have no idea how to advise you. The only way to do that is to bring people in that have been where you want to go and are smarter than you in their specific, skill set. So we started doing that recently with 2 or 3 hires. And if I can give you guys only any advice, that's the way to go. Like the whole energy, the speed, the velocity, ideas are coming in with, like, just in a very short window is unbelievable. So yeah, only bring in agents that have some grit and employees that are going to add value, not just, check a box and take a paycheck. Would be strong advice. And I've been doing that more and more. The other big thing I'll share with you that I would definitely recommend, probably hard to do if you're just starting out, but I learned the word no is a lot more powerful than yes. Like who I work with, who I partner, what podcasts I do. Like I get asked to do a lot of podcasts now, and I'm very selective, right? From a time perspective, a value perspective, and those will interfere with my family and their time maybe, depending on when they wanted to do it or if I had to travel to it. So yeah, I'm being super selective in what I do and what I spend my time, just in very high income producing activities. And I either delegate or don't worry about everything else. Because I learned if you do the A to A plus activities, like every day, consistently, everything else is not nearly as important as you may think.
I love this, and yeah, I'm literally taking notes here, and it's framing that idea around what is your highest and best purpose, and making sure that that's the thing you're doing, because that's the thing that probably no one else can do as you can do it
Yeah.
in that way, and in that fashion inside your business. And then, yeah, I absolutely love the concept of, just hiring people that best in class. It's a great measure, and it really puts you at a whole new level. I can see that everything you're going to do from there on, you are literally going to have a leg up. So going to one of my other questions as well, because you are definitely a systems and process person. I know that you have talked about having systems that allow a person to get their life back and things like this, to have maybe that harmony or some of that quality back. What are some of the most important systems for, just say, taking real estate team owners or any business owner that they would maybe be recommended to incorporate when they're scaling up?
Yeah. So I would have answered this differently, probably just even a few months ago. But the first one is going to have to be how you're going to use and introduce AI into your business. AI, not that AI is going to make your business or break it, but it's going to speed it up 10x. And if you don't, your competition is doing that right now. I can tell everyone on this call,
Yeah.
and they're going to leave you behind very quickly because what it can
Yeah.
accomplish and speed up and reduce time is absolutely incredible. So actually, if you're on this call, our EOS implementer recommended a good book to me this week. I just started, so I can't endorse the whole book, but the first chapter or two sounds pretty good. The name of the book I'll give everyone, which I'd recommend, is called The AI Driven Leader by Jeff Woods on there. So yeah, that'd be number one. Number two, well, let me go back to business first. So before we get to systems in a business, if I could help you guys simplify it, why I'm able to work in so many industries and stuff is simplification. Every business is just a combination of the right who's running the right systems, and then you understand that P&L, the money coming in and going out, that throws us a profit, gives us money to take home to our families. So the first thing is always the who's. So for anyone on this call, whenever I've ever started any company, doesn't matter real estate or not real estate, before I do anything is I hire an executive assistant. Because I know there's going to be paperwork, emails, a computer that needs to be set up, all of these things I can pay, very little money for, because my job in a new company always was to generate revenue and sales. So if I'm sitting here fumbling around trying to set up my CRM or I'm emails from whatever and billing and all that stuff, which if you don't have, so this phrase has been around forever, but I think it's worth repeating. If you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant.
Yeah.
And so if you want to figure out how much money, say, you want to make in a year, then you divide that by 2080. That's how much your time is worth per hour. It's the average number of hours we work in a year. So very easy way to decide, should I be doing this or should someone else? So if this task can be done for anything less than your dollar per hour worth to hit this target at the end of the year, 100% I would recommend we delegate it. Because if you don't, you're going to reduce your dollar hour per worth, because now you're doing, say, $100 hour, getting listings or making sales happen. And now you start doing $20 an hour work, just a rough example, secretary, administrative type work. What's the average of that over an 8-hour or 40-hour week? It's not 100 anymore. So the book I'd recommend here first everyone read is Who, Not How.
Oh, yeah.
So I take everything to the extreme, which I don't know is good or bad, but I only do 4 things in my life now. So number one is for the last 40 years, every day I learn. I will spend 1 to 2 hours. That's probably something else that makes me different, is I work with really smart people. So I always have this little butterfly nervous thing is I got to stay smarter than them. So I just watch more videos and read more books than most humans. So good advice there. Never stop learning. Number 2 is I do Zoom calls, coaching calls, podcasts here in front of this camera. Number 3, I'm in charge of myself. So making sure I have a healthy dinner, exercise. And number 4, you might guess, I schedule things to do with Mikey and Lisa. So if it's not one of those 4 things, Heather, I know the answer. It's no. Someone else is going to do it, or it's just not going to get done. Yeah. So that's where I said, no, guys, I've been working on this for years. You're not going to get down before. But eliminating a lot of those things, delegating them, taking them off your plate so you can spend a lot more time in the things that make your organization the most amount of money, like your superpower, probably why you got started in this business and you want thinking about building a business or a team around you because you're good at it. You don't want to spend too much time doing all the other things. Otherwise, growth scaling will take a lot longer.
Yeah. Fantastic. Absolutely incredible. And yes, I've both of the books I think are taken so well into consideration. And I just the fact you mentioned AI, this is a different answer now than maybe what you would have said in the past, but recognizing that this is so important. I know Glenn Sanford with EXP addressed it, our CEO, addressed it from the stage, and many others. It is now the the tool that, is going to become a new appendage, or quickly is already our smartphone is already our appendage. And it's been able to bring us so much. And now that's really, really changing our whole world. And like you said, if you're not doing it, the competition is doing it. We had an educator about AI on yesterday's program. So just checking on something, and you actually kind of mentioned one of them just now when you mentioned your self-care. What are three non-negotiables? I would say your ability to say no and whatnot. But what would you also recommend for other people, whether that's for personal development or their company? What should be kind of three non-negotiables if we were to ask to frame it maybe in that way?
Yeah. So the one, if you take my advice and you bring in some kind of assistant, the assistant automatically becomes my gatekeeper. Like they're in charge. Number one, first thing is all communication, because everything we do and get done in a day is based on convenience and distractions. So I've been able to eliminate 100% of my distractions. I only have, Lisa is the only person who communicates with me throughout the day. So that keeps me in momentum, doing exactly, keeping to my schedule. So that would be one, is you gotta manage distractions on there to stay moving forward. Repeat the question again. There was something else there.
Yeah, basically three non-negotiables for driving sustainable growth and/or for personal development. For CEOs in any case, and definitely the first assistant.
Okay, so that's the business side. Then I'll take you back to I joined an organization called Vistas International, which is where CEOs in given marketplaces from different industries, they get together to help grow and scale their businesses. So a surgeon client of mine asked me if I wanted to join his group, and I was like, yeah, this would be great, So I get to the meeting, and you have to sign a non-disclosure kind of form, but I thought was all right. So maybe I'm going to talk about some big business stuff here. And then we had to go to a whiteboard, Heather, and you had to put on a scale of 1 to 10 these three numbers. The first category was yourself, like how's your health, how's your mindset. Number 2 was how's your family, like how's your marriage, how are your kids, and number 3 was your business. So to answer your question, and maybe to your surprise, would you be surprised most of these meetings, we never got to number 3. Because if you're having some issues, like you're not feeling it, energy is down, your health is down, your mindset is down, your business will never be good, or maybe good, never be great. And the same thing, if you're having problems with your children at home or your marriage or your relationships, that's going to affect your business tremendously. So the non-negotiables are almost inverting my priorities to, hey, how's Lisa doing? How's Mikey doing? How's my relationship with them? So as a daily reminder, because it's that important, I have 2 lists every morning. I share gratitudes with a good friend of mine. And then I have a list of things I'm working towards or attracting. And it's always stronger relationships, better relationships with Mikey. And every day I remind myself how important that is. And the other one is I remind myself every day I'm going to get great sleep tonight. I'm going to eat a great meal today. It's almost like affirmations. So if you guys want to know the truth, what really separates the most successful people from the ones that are quite not is my background. I should not be here based on how I started and the education I was, able to get. The most successful people are never the hardest working, so you don't have to work so hard. They're not even the smartest ones. The most successful people, Heather, are the most consistent ones. Mm-hmm. And I will beat anyone on consistency, always. Like, I just won't give up. And like, I get up between probably 5 a.m. every morning without an alarm clock forever. Like, I'm never going to sleep in until 9 o'clock. Right? My routine is so dialed that I'm doing only the right things every day, non-negotiable. That's how you win, guys. So it's the consistency, not, putting in 100 hours this week and taking a day or 2 off next week. Right? That's maybe a poor example, but you want to just be doing the most important things. So getting 8 hours of sleep every night, eating a healthy meal every night, getting my 10,000 steps every day are non-negotiables, because that all helps me in my psychology. And learning, right? Learning every day is one of I have to, I feel like I lost a day. So non-negotiable right there. Yeah. And then, making sure I over-deliver to my coaching clients, because I always want to exceed client expectations and never meet them. So I'm preparing and having amazing calls with my clients, or probably 20, 30% of my day, Heather, is contribution. That's another big thing for me this year, is to increase contribution, but more locally than globally, like not donating to a big charity, but how can I give some time or insights to someone who maybe can't afford my services and help them for free? That's always an option with me. Because my purpose in life is not to make more money than everyone. It's just to help improve the quality of other people's lives. So
Yeah.
if I'm doing that, the answer is always yes, because that's my life's mission right now.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And this is a mission anyway that I think anyone who can speak on having done any sort of work like this, whether you're just helping level up an employee under you or maybe giving a job opportunity to someone, or in fact, the work that you do helps create a lot of jobs if it's happening correctly or well, or maybe key jobs in different companies, then this is something that will fuel a person more than maybe that that slice of pie, because you're able to contribute to the good feeling that you have that you're able to give something in the world that is not monetarily viable,
Yeah,
which
very
is
rewarding.
increasing someone else's dream.
Yeah.
So I love all of this, and I wanted to ask you as well, you know, because obviously you, like you said, 90% of your coaching right now is women,
Hmm.
not men. And, obviously all genders can watch this program. But if you were to say, okay, I'm coaching women in leadership, what is it that women maybe frequently either misunderstand or possibly miss as an opportunity, or maybe even has the strength when it comes to opportunities to lead, whether that's speaking on a stage, mentoring others, being that leader, where is that maybe something as an opportunity that you have found in coaching?
I think it's crystal clear, quite frankly, is our industry, commercial and residential real estate, has been male dominated, I'm sorry, for many, many years. There are very few very well-spoken, educated thought leaders in our industry that are female. So the opportunity, they're thirsting for that. This is why Spring, you see her everywhere, because she's probably arguably the biggest, well-known, articulate, and really can deliver. So they keep calling her because there aren't too many other options. There's a few. I'm not right. There's definitely a handful, but the proportion of male to female is still way unbalanced.
Yes.
So yeah, anyone in the audience, and there's plenty of room, and they're looking for you. Just develop a few skills, right? Learn a few things, and they're looking for strong females to kind of balance this imbalance, because our world now, right, is not a male-dominated workforce anymore. It's in any way, shape, or form. So we need more influence, energy, ideas, and thoughts. To your point, this human and this human look at the world quite often very differently. So if we're working with clients in an industry that has a fairly equal of these, shouldn't the leadership, the voice, the information be more equal? I think so.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And what I do hear, from women when I'm speaking to or mentoring is that it basically comes down to, do we belong? Do we fit? Is what I'm going to say be worthwhile? There seems to be this outsized ability to, empathize with others, but then maybe an outsized concern for whether or not they're going to do the right thing when they're on that stage. What would you say to that?
Ooh. I'm going to tell you what probably the strongest underlying emotion they're going to have, which I've been complimented many times for many years about things I've been able to do for myself and others. But up to about 2 years ago, I suffered severely from imposter syndrome. So
Yes.
the fear of going on stage, like, who wants to listen to me? I don't know. There's so many smarter people, and they're not going to want to care what I have to say. Like, this is boring or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, for all you women out there, whatever your message is, how long or short, you're going to resonate with the audience when you become relatable, because whatever you're doing or have done, there's people behind you, or there's people who've been through what you. So shaking the imposter syndrome, I will tell you, for most people who are a little successful to very successful, is one of the strongest emotions to overcome. So if that's anyone in the audience, just again, go outside your comfort zone and do it. Because then I go on stage, like this follow-up boss thing, right? And 3 people, my rates aren't that cheap. 3 people sign up for coaching and I didn't even know what I said, right? It was nothing profound. I didn't prepare a lesson or anything. It was me and Ethan just, bantering, kind of like we're doing here today. And I'm like,
Exactly.
wow, I
Yes.
guess
I
those were
saw
some
you at
good.
that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I guess there were
Yeah.
some good nuggets in there. Because that's not the goal to sell coaching for me on these things, is to add value, educate, and inform. But then, yeah, it comes back because I've gotten over this. I do know a few things more than others, and I'm willing to share it. And I'm not that fearful that, what if they don't like it? What if this podcast is, so that'd be the next one, which is very hard, especially in the Instagram era, is 5 years ago, I really stopped caring what people think about me, which is very easy to say, very, very hard to do in Western
Yes.
society.
Yeah.
But to the best of my ability, yeah, I don't care. So I'm going to come here. I would have been very nervous a couple of years ago.
What do you think gave you that? What do you think gave you that freedom?
Everything I have to give the credit to are books. I just read a lot of books. And like I'll follow the habits and attributes, like I'll follow Steve Jobs and Bezos and all these other leaders, Rockefeller. I'm like, what are some of their attributes that cause them to be successful? Oh, I'm going to grab one from here. This is almost like a chapter in Think and Grow Rich, if you've read that book. When
Definitely.
Napoleon Hill had his mastermind of all these famous people, and he would be drawing different things from Lincoln and others up there. That's kind of how I roll, is I just read from people who are successful. Like, what caused you to get there? Like one of them I'll share with you is decision fatigue. That every time we have to make a decision in the day, one of the reasons why I only do 4 things, our brain gets a little more cognitive load, it's called, and it gets a little tired. So I said, what if I eliminated as many decisions? So I just copied them, as I learned they wear a black t-shirt and blue jeans almost every day, so I don't have to decide what to wear in the morning. So I don't decide what I wear anymore. It's just hanging up on a hanger, and whatever's there, then it's generally black. So simple stuff like that. Like
That is fantastic.
Mirroring the masters. I've heard that term used on there. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of people that have made a lot more money than all of us. What are some of the attributes or things they did? And then I just take from the best and create Mike Schumm with the ones that I think apply to me.
Fantastic. And it's like you kind of said, I mean, you can just get up on a stage and be yourself, and not necessarily in your case, like you said, not necessarily have some grand plan. But your clients will attract to you. And this is a thought that I think, is getting some emerging resilience in the world around us. We're starting to echo that out there, is to say the right client for you is going to find you as long as you put yourself out there in whatever form you are, and that in whatever value add that you have to bring to the market, which literally just kind of leads me back to your original, like you said, make sure that a product market fit is occurring, and think about that with regard to your game plan. So a couple things that I just, I want to make sure that people get a chance to find out, where are you speaking next? What is the future evolution of you? What are the things you're most excited about right now? And then I would ask if you have any parting thoughts for our listeners.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. So speaking, actually, yes, I have a few. I couldn't tell you the exact dates, but I know we're doing some stuff in Arizona next month, and then I got to go to Idaho to speak at Desi Williams, one of the #1 agents over at Real. Her and Elizabeth, who I coach, were also at her event. #1 Real agent in Canada are doing an event in Idaho, so they asked me to come. So we'll be speaking there, and then we're doing some stuff for EXPCon. Down there the day before that event towards the end of the year. Then we're having an event in Vegas, actually, if people want to come, the day before Zillow Unlock. So, yeah, my life is very fluid, Heather. And again, I don't overstress about it. I just look at my calendar, and then Lisa tells me where to go, and then I show up, and it always just works out like that for some speaking stuff. And like I said, your podcast came up, Ethan called me. So if it feels like it's a win-win situation, I say yes. And I don't overthink it. I just show up and usually don't know exactly what's going on or what I'm going to say, but I've learned unscripted me is better than trying to overthink it and try to create something to say on there. If anyone wants to reach out, I don't do any marketing, but I'm on Instagram. It's my Mike Schumm _. Or if you want the website, I don't even know what it looks like because, like I said, we don't do any marketing, but you need a website to get a Stripe account so you can process credit card. But there's a site there. You can schedule a call with me if you go to, actually, let me spell it for you. The company is called Profits, but it's spelled Profytz. Because that domain
Perfect.
costs like $2 and the word profit costs like, $50,000. So I'm like, I'm fine with that spelling on
Which
there.
makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, we did something similar with our podcast
Right. A new world
web
we live in,
page.
right? Cost stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, let me give the audience. So I was thinking about this as we were speaking. Again, I love to simplify it. If you can simplify things, people can understand them and implement real easy. In business, broken down, guys, is really just two things that are going to determine your success. Number one is innovation. How is what you're doing, whatever industry you're in, different from your competition? Like, why would I hire your company versus my other options? If you have a clear differentiator that appears to be a better value to the consumer, price is never an issue. Like what I do, I don't think there's maybe one person in this country that can do what I do to help scale small business teams and all this other stuff. So you don't have to worry about getting commoditized. And the second thing is once you create your innovation, your very noticeable differentiator, you need to master marketing. And the marketing has two components. One I mentioned earlier, it's got to be uber consistent. Right? This marketing is going out. And then frequency. It's increasing frequency. So again, if you watch Spring, right, that's where she's a master. She's got really high quality marketing going out on multiple channels, multiple times every day. And what starts to happen is these algorithms, they want to reward her because they don't create their own content. They rely on content creators. So the more she creates, the more they push her out and the more she gets rewarded from the platforms and the more people, because your business is simply a percentage of the people that think about you today are going to use your service. How many are going to think about you today? That's dependent on how much marketing you've done to how many people. So it's really that. So again, why I was telling you we don't do any marketing. All the companies I create have an immense value proposition to the competitors that we attract clients. We don't have to sell them. We don't have to close them. They're like, hey, we heard about what you're doing. Where do we sign up? So that's been a big key if you want to grow and scale business, because as soon as your business is pretty close and to what someone else sounds like or looks like, it's called commoditization. Like then they start talking about, well, they're this price and you're that price. But all my companies, no one does what we do the way we do it. So it's either you want it or you don't. That's the price.
I love that. Fantastic. What a mic drop statement from Mike. Absolutely. Sorry, I had to do the pun there. That's it for today, guys. But I just want to say what an extraordinary hour that we have spent together. And I am so grateful for the opportunity to bring you on this show. I can tell you just the notes I took alone would fill 3 pages or have filled 3 pages. So lots to unpack here, listeners. We do have a study guide that will be attached, as well as the takeaway that you'll hear here in just a moment. But in the meantime, Mike, I just want to thank you so much for your passion for helping others, the fact that you are who you are. And yes, it's a testament to all those stages you're on and the fact that people just want to sign up with you because you are a stellar human and it shows at all times, despite being, brilliant. So thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Heather.
Well, folks, that's it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on Women Who Rise, the success podcast for ambitious women. Today, Mike taught us, number one, hire an executive assistant. All communication can then flow through them, delegating and having them be able to assist you in keeping things on track. If you do not have an assistant, you are one. So I loved that phrase. It kind of hits you right between the eyes and makes you think. Number two, top leaders are the most consistent. They are not the hardest working, the smartest. He said, forget all that. They are the most consistent. And actually, today's web and app algorithms reward this. So being consistent in what you do, being consistent as a leader, being consistent in your communication, being tenacious, don't give up, keep going. Third, mindset and family matters. This has a huge impact on your personal production. Schedule your passions. So if your passion is spending time with your kids, if your passion is going out and boating, whatever. If your passion is being able to read in the morning or you need quiet time for yourself, really understanding and figuring out what are those top things and making sure that they're on your schedule. If they're not on your schedule, it means they're not important. They can be overwritten by whatever demands of the day may occur. And as a business owner, you will have a lot of demands that can pop up. So making sure to schedule those passions, knowing that you're taking care of your mindset and your family, including things like health, if you need to work out, etc. And then be a lifelong learner. Mike is an avid reader. He said if he goes a day without learning, he feels like he's wasted some part of that day. He's constantly reading books about ways that he can improve himself. He actually kind of likened it to the fact that he wants to keep up with the smart people he's hiring and the experts that he works with all the time and the clients that he's coaching. And so he feels like he always needs to keep that knowledge up. And then finally, he did suggest some books for you. The AI-driven leader. He said, if you are not incorporating AI into your business now and really learning what that looks like for you, then you're going to fall behind because your competition is going to do that. It should 10x what you are able to do in your business. If it's not doing that, go figure that out. And then he said also who, not how, because Mike talked about the real importance of hiring people that are fit for purpose, that are best in class. That's the measure he uses now. And so this is another thought process on that. And so again, just another good book to look for. So that is it for today. Visit our website to find our episode guide and worksheet that will help you use these tips to take action in your own life. Like and subscribe and join us everywhere podcasts are streamed. We can't wait to bring you more incredible content every week so that you can rise in your own lives and more. Again, thank you so much. Heather Mansy signing off.